Hi, this is Grace. This is the 5th time I've tried to record this video. And it's because I keep going on a tangent. So, in the interest of living in the moment and watching YouTube for enjoyment, which is what I do, and entertaining you, I hope. I'm going to participate in a VR called HugDex, or hashtag HugDex. It's a VR to Patsy at Patsy's Mystical Musings. Oh my god, I hope I got that right, Patsy. Again, once I get to know people as people, I flub their channels. It's terrible. But anyway, here we are. So I have 5 decks I want to share with you today that are my, they're not my only hug decks, but these are the ones where I went to my shelf and I said, oh, if I wanted to talk about some hug decks, which ones would they be? And these are the ones I grabbed. So I'll start with the tarot decks, and then I have some, a little surprise at the end, which my own little twist on this VR. Okay, so the first one is the Druid Craft. I always sniff the bag because it smells like sandalwood, because I had to put it in a box with sandalwood incense, because when the Sharpie marker I used a regular brown Sharpie to edge this deck in the summer. I had some kind of chemical reaction with the cardstock. It smelled so bad, but it doesn't anymore. This to me is a hug deck because this is a deck I use specifically, and it's funny, I don't know how, I just discovered this when I first got it. In the first cards I drew, I discovered that this deck has a very maternal energy, and it allows me to literally communicate with my mom, who died in 2012. So the spirit of my mom comes through loud and clear in the images of these cards. My mom is not Celtic. My mom was born in what is now Croatia. When she was born there, it was Yugoslavia. But this tarot deck speaks so clearly that I feel her presence and I hear her voice in my mind when I read with these cards. So these I read mainly for me. Now I say mainly because I have pulled these out for to read for other people, maybe 2 other people, specifically to communicate with their mom. So yeah, this is something. And hug deck number 1, Druid Craft, specifically without the titles. Now I have a second one where I kept the titles on it, because this was an accidental, this was a Mingus, this was an accidental naked trimming of this deck, because I had I don't know, I've told this story before, but if you're tuning in for the first time, or you can hear it, I'll say it really briefly. I was trimming the deck to leave the titles on, and the 5 of Cups, I accidentally snipped off the title, and then I had to do the rest of them that way. Love it. My next hug deck, tarot deck, is, no surprise, a lot of people turn to this one for a hug. It's incredible. It's incredible because it's still a tarot. It still follows, the cards are still follow the meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot meanings, and it's It's got this Victorian style art. It's got this shabby chic look about it. It looks like it's you know, this the background is like, you know, Victorian style wallpaper or something like that, and it looks a little grimy. It's like they actually in the artwork put a little grime on it too, so for that whole shabby chic. And although shabby chic is not an aesthetic, like it's not a house, not a decor aesthetic that I'm particularly fond of, I don't dislike it, but it's just not my, it's not something I get all excited about. I love these. I love the way they look. And I usually do 3-card readings with these. And usually when I'm feeling really vulnerable, really stressed, really afraid, when I know I won't be able to hear the reading. I don't know if you know what I mean, but where I look at the cards and I get nothing because I cannot get past the confusion and the noise in my head. I could just read the paragraph on the bottom, and there's no shame in that. So if you like these Doreen Virtue decks, or Bradley Valentine decks, whatever you call them, this one, the fairy one, the angel one, because you could read the bottom, there's no shame in that. These are perfectly designed for being able to read for yourself and being able to, if you stay objective, and if you can't stay objective when you read it, write down what it says, put it on a piece of paper, set it aside, go back and read it later. Optimal. All right. Since we're talking about Doreen Virtue decks, my next hug deck, oh, this one is sweet. This one might still be available, because up until recently, I think I still saw it on Amazon, and it's the Magical Unicorn. This one is sweet. This one, I'm never going to get rid of it. And at first glance, it, you know, like you look at it, and of course it's gentle, and you can like, you know, it really, the language in here is really wholesome, but beyond wholesome. It's really, you know, it's totally suitable for a child, for a child's reading. It's totally suitable for a teen. It's totally suitable for people that are sensitive. And this is my stalker card from this oracle. Love from your parents. No matter what your mother and father, no matter what, sorry, your mother and father love you as much as they can. Now, this is my stalker card from this deck. This card always, like, it just came out like right now, like it was when I was my 4 previous recordings. This one came out. My parents are gone. Like, my dad died in 2000, my mom in 2012, and my whole story is a little complicated, but not to get into that right now. Let me just say that when someone like me, who had very difficult time with her parents, I was separated from my parents when I was very young, and then had a very difficult relationship with both of them for completely different reasons. Something like this. Anyway, it's a hug deck. It's wonderful. And although I can be jaded, I could be cynical, I could be a lot of things, but when I'm feeling vulnerable, I don't roll my eyes at this deck. This deck really is wonderful. It's comforting. It's kind. It's wholesome. It's a hug deck. So that's my unicorn, Magical Unicorns Oracle cards. I love them. Okay. Moving right along. The next is 2 decks in one, and if you've been watching me, you've seen this before. It's my soul cards 1 and 2. This is a hug deck. I don't use this every day, but if I've said it before and I'll say it again, if I could only have one, for whatever reason I could only have one oracle deck, it would be these two combined into one. And it's because this deck always manages to tap into, with one card pull, manages to tap into what I'm feeling and the message I need at that time. This is a card that comes up for me a lot. And there's 120 cards in here, and I get this a lot. And it is always on point. You know what I mean? It's always apropos. And how can I forget that this is, I'll never be able to forget. How can I forget? I'll never be able to forget. English. I will never forget how this is the deck. I was doing daily draws with this, which is already unusual because this is not typically the kind of deck I do daily draws with. But when I was really sick in December, and this is the card that I got. This is basically a warning. I got this before I got sick, and then while I was sick, when I was trying to figure out why I wasn't getting better, and this was a warning. So the spirits are coming through. My spirits are coming through. My spirit guides, my guardian angel, whoever's looking out for me, came through with this card to say, it's not a virus. This, because I'm a nurse, I guess it spoke clearly to me. It's a bacteria, and that antibiotic is not working. So for me, this is a hug deck. As much as I just said something drastic, like, oh my God, you know. It doesn't have, if you're not familiar with soul cards 1 and 2, doesn't come with a guidebook, doesn't come with keywords, doesn't need them. It seriously doesn't need them. Love them. Okay, and my last hug deck that I want to share with you as a hug deck is this one, and it's Spirit of the Animals Oracle. And Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Bergsma. When I first got it, I wasn't in the headspace for it. I didn't understand it. I thought it was shallow. I thought it was, you know, didn't offer much. It's only when I needed a hug or when I needed something gentle and because I was feeling vulnerable, did I understand the strength of this deck. This deck is affirmative. This deck is supportive. This deck is encouraging. And this deck is freaking beautiful. I just have to say it because the artwork is just incredible. I had the Magical Times cards by Jody Bergsma, and I moved them along. I think I gave them to someone who really, like, they tried them out and they really loved them. So I tend to do that. It's because I can always get another one, right? And I think I'm going to, I'm feeling like I need them back, so I think I'm going to be, that's going to be my next purchase, is to repurchase Magical Times by Jody Bergsma. Okay, so those are my hug decks. So here's my twist on this hashtag VR to Patsy. The one deck I thought was going to be the ultimate hug deck. It has it all. It has it all. I'll try not to go on too long about this one. This hit my wish list, my Amazon wish list, the moment, the same hour it was released for pre-order. even before it was released for pre-order. The second it was like placed on Amazon, this was on my wish list. This was in my wish list. On my wish list. And it was the only thing on my wish list. And then it was released. And I didn't I hadn't pre-ordered it because I learned living in Canada, like for Amazon.ca, often if you pre-order something, you get it a lot later than if you just wait for it to be released for purchase and then you order it. Anyway, long story short, I held off. The hype surrounding this deck was massive. Rightfully so. It's freaking beautiful. But the hype also turned me off, so I didn't buy it. Then I got it after Christmas. I decided to get it because I figured, well, why am I letting the hype get to me? But probably it wasn't so much the hype. There's something else going on with this deck, which is why I didn't purchase it right away. And now I'm thinking I'm just going to share with you briefly what it is, because I could go on at length about it. And it's first, let me say this deck is freaking beautiful, beautiful. The guidebook is aesthetically pleasing. It's beautiful. That nice shiny magazine paper, the full pictures on the left hand side. The writing is a bit sparse in terms of the meaning of the card, which, okay, that's fine if, you know, it's meant to be RWS inspired. It's not a clone though, but it's RWS inspired. I love the majors. I love the majors. The majors are fantastic. I have no problem with the majors being renamed. I have no problem with suits being renamed. I have Linnea Weatherstone's Victorian Fairy Tarot, and you know, the suits are renamed for the seasons. That makes sense to me. When they're renamed for the elements, that makes sense to me. When they're coins instead of pentacles, that's fine. When they're rods instead of wands, that's fine. I did say elements, right? When it's fire instead of wands, and water instead of cups. Yes, yes, yes. I even, Tarot the She is one of my top 5 tarot decks, and you know, it's completely renamed. But this deck I have issue with. This deck I can't get, I can't get past the renaming. The renaming of the suits does not click with me, and it makes me so sad. Visions for cups, no. Sentiments, maybe. Emotions, visions, doesn't click for me. Spells for wands, for me it downplays the wands. This fiery suit, the suit of inspiration, the suit of spirit. Spells for me kind of downgrades the power of that suit. Boons for pentacles. That one I dislike. It's not the one I dislike the most, but that one's the second one I dislike the most. Boons. I know what a boon is. Like, you know, when I first saw the word, I thought, okay, like boon is a good deed. The suit of good deeds. The suit of, you know what I mean? For me, it just falls. For me, it feels contrived, and I hate that I'm like that. I hate that I can't get past it, because if I could get past this, then this would be one of my favorite decks of all time, because it has everything I love in it. It has, well, you know, witches and wizards, fairies and elves, birds and beasts, earthly and otherworldly, ghosts, shapeshifters, dancing princesses, sad old knights, dragons. It's all here. They don't list dragons. I list dragons. It's all here. Giants. I love this card. This is the suit, the renaming of the suit that really, for me, is the deal breaker. Challenges, because challenges, I'm finding this a lot with me, with tarot decks. I like there to be more of a spectrum when it comes to, there's negative cards. You know what I mean? Cards that talk of misfortune and all, that mean misfortune and whatever, and disappointment and all this stuff. That's fine. But the word challenges for me, and if it was just the word challenges and whatever, but when I see the court cards, child of challenges, I can't. Anyway, look, here's what I'm trying to say. This should have been a no-brainer. There should have been a deck. When I first saw it, being made and all this stuff, and I didn't follow on Facebook, but when I saw, so I misspeak, not that when I saw it made, but when I saw it available for pre-order, this was the only picture that was on Amazon, and I thought, oh my god, that is totally my thing. When I flip through these cards, they're so beautiful. But this deck does not speak my language. The minors for me are just specifically the renaming of the suits. So there. So this is one of those, this one makes me sad. So I guess this VR could be both to Patsy's Hug Deck and Mags. Mags, I watched an interesting video today where she talks about a deck that she thought for sure was for her, and it just missed the mark completely. So that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me. Today was my day off, and it was a very, very busy day, and I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. Tomorrow back to work, and but it was nice to have time to sit down and chit-chat a little bit, talk about tarot and oracle decks, and just drink some coffee and ramble and take too long to end the video. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that wherever you are, that you are washing your hands, you're staying safe, follow the protocols set up to keep you safe, and together we'll get through this. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.